Okay, this is a quick little video to show how I do my swatches. I have a, let's see, this is a number 4 Princeton Neptune round watercolor brush and just a nib holder. I believe you can get these from Jet Pens, and a Zebra G nib that I've already conditioned just using a lighter. So you just light the end of it to get any of the oil off that keeps the ink from attaching to the nib, because I usually add oil to keep them from rusting in transport and storage. So you heat it up with just like a lighter or a match until you see that it patinas a little bit, and some people will dip it in water right after until you hear it go tst, like that, or just let it cool, but make sure you stick it in a nib holder first so you don't burn your fingers. So anyway, these are the tools that I use to do my ink sampling. You can use a Q-tip or a cotton swab if you prefer the generic term. Some people use a knife. Mike from Ink Dependence likes to use a knife because he doesn't like to stick foreign materials into his ink bottle. But this brush is the one that I use for all my ink sampling. So it's the only one I use, and since it's a synthetic hair brush, it's nylon, so I know that I'm using the same brush every time I do it. And then I dip it in water to clean it, and I have a small little cup next to me, and I'll dip it in water until it's clean, and then use a white rag or paper towel to make sure. You'll see it was recently tested, and so I just keep wiping it on a towel until I know that all the ink is out of it. So you'll see, and I just keep turning the towel until I know that I've gotten it clean, gotten all the ink out of it, before I test the next color. So yeah, it looks like I got all the ink out of it now. And then in between uses, you always store a paintbrush flat until it's dry, so that water doesn't get into the ferrule and damage it. So you store it flat, and then you can store it upright. But this particular cup that I use has little ridges on it so that you can lay it flat like this. And then I'll dip this in water to clean it, and then again just wipe it off on the towel until I know that I've gotten all the ink out of it, and then also store it flat till it's dry. So anyway, I'll get started. So pardon any weird noises or weird camera shakes. I have a very kind of rickety setup today because I haven't really done these very often. So I pulled a couple different inks that I'll try for these samples, just see how these turn out. So I'm using the Col-o-ring ink testing book, and the first ink I'm going to use is the Califolio Olivestra, which is sort of an olive green. Actually, it's more of a true bright green color, I think. And I'll do the first one, and I wet the brush a little first, and then get it really dry just to get the brush nice and pointy. Make sure that there isn't any residual ink on it, and then I just do a couple really big swashes like that, and then I'll let the brush sort of sit for a minute, and then I'll dip my pen in and make sure that I get the little hole covered up, and then I'll just write at the bottom. And I've never done this in front of people before, so if my lettering is a little shaky, it's just because I don't usually do this as performance art. I'm trying to get the spelling right. Olivestra. Vostra. There we go. So Califolio Olivastra, and these will lay down quite a bit of ink, so get sort of the full vibe. And I got ink all up in the handle of this one because I don't dip very well, so I make a big mess. So clean it all out. With these, you can actually take the nib out if you get it up in the feed. Well, there's not really a feed, but up in the handle and stuff. Just kind of clean it all out, get it all out of there. So just clean it all out, get it out of all of that. It's nice and clean, so I can do the next color. Slide that back in there. So it should be ready to go for the next color. I spilled this bottle earlier today, so it's all got color all over it. So we can do, and that's actually drying pretty fast. So I have some Robert Oster. You can even see the color on the rim. It's got a bit of a red sheen. This is Robert Oster Blue Denim. So that didn't leave much color on the so just cleaning that right up. So squeeze all the water out of there. I hope is that all on the camera? Yep. Okay. So we'll dip that in there. And squeeze that right on there. And looks like I might have gotten a little bit of just oil from my fingers or something on the paper. But that's okay, that gave a nice little, see a bit of color on there. Oh, one of my cats is singing for us. So there you go. That's how I do my swatches. Not much to it. And then I'll usually let them sit for a little while, make sure they're good and dry before I add them to my ring. And I like to keep my book in order by color. So I put all the blues together and all the greens together. And then that way I can compare all the colors. So you can see some of the other colors that I've done and how they've dried. But yeah, so this one's dried pretty quickly. The writing, obviously, with a dip pen will take a little bit longer to dry than with just a regular fountain pen on this paper, on the coloring paper. But like with a regular fountain pen, they dry pretty quickly. Let me grab one real quick and I can show you. So this is just like a TWSBI. So just with a TWSBI 580. And this looks like it's probably Fire and Ice. Just written with Actually, that's a little bit darker. I'm not sure what that is. It's kind of a green blue. I'm not sure what that is. It's not Fire and Ice, I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, so that's, well, not quite dry. I got a little bit of a smudge. I don't know if you can see it. So, tiny bit of a smudge, but not too bad. And that was in, let's see, looking at my timer, not quite 30 seconds. So, not too bad. So anyway, there's some samples, there's some paper, there's a little, can you see the sparkle? That's the Emerald of Chivor. Of course not. It's hard to see that shimmer. And let's see what else we got. New melon tea. See the kind of brownish green blue sheen. My new favorite, Crema Cafe. Diamine Sepia. Sailor Grenade. Let's see. Ooh. This was one of the ones we sampled at Little Rock. It's the Robert Oster Australian Opal. And it's a little purple, little burgundy, some blues. That one was fun. Califolio Hur Doré. That was fun. Robert Oster Pinky. The Robert Oster display was across from me at Little Rock, so I was sampling lots of those. Sample the Carandash Pinky. I don't know how accurate the colors are coming out, but you kind of get a good feel for everything. Bob sampled Scheherbann's Rouge Opera. I think he did his with a Q-tip. Sorry, cotton swab. The Diatramentus Red Roses, which does actually smell like roses. It's kind of cool. Let's see. Oxblood, which turns out to have a little bit of a gold sheen to it. We noticed when we swatched it. Let's see. Noodler's Purple Martin. Pretty nice. Diamine Meadow. Detrimentus Sandalwood. Did not notice a scent. I don't think this was the scented one. Bookbinders. Blue Racer. Super True Blue. It was good fun. So anyway, you guys get the idea. Hope this helps. Gives you some ideas of what you can do with these. Let me know what you guys decide to do with your color rings. I hope you enjoy the video. Let me know if you have any questions or need any more explanation. Love to help you. Thanks a lot.